I'm Dr. Cheryl Mackowiak at the University of Florida IFAS. I'm a soil scientist focusing on soil fertility and water quality. My emphasis is on forage-based agriculture. I'd like to spend a couple minutes with you showing how we can measure nitrate leaching from different ag production systems using what we call a drain lysimeter. So nitrate leaching losses are a concern for this part of Florida because we have some karst limestone that lies between us and the groundwater. In certain areas, surface water can move through that karst much faster than it can through the typical consolidated clay-type materials that we have elsewhere. The drain lysimeter helps us determine which ag production improvements can help us reduce the potential for nitrate leaching losses. For example, we know that conventional row crop production is susceptible to leaching in large concentrations of nitrates, while the sod-based crop rotation leaches much less during that sod phase of that production system. We also know that plant water use tends to be lower than our average rainfall more often during the wintertime than in the summertime. When rainfall exceeds plant water uptake, the chances of leaching nitrate is much greater. I'm standing next to where we have a drain lysimeter in one of our research paddocks. This is an integrated crop livestock system, and we're testing different winter forage crops in terms of grazing intensities and its effect on leaching losses. We have a lysimeter underground about 3 to 5 feet below most of the root system, and there's a cable and a sampling tube that goes underground up the post and into our data logger. From there, we have basically the lysimeter is an open canister, a high-tech open canister, and it's filled with soil from the same location, and there's sensors at the bottom of this canister that tells us how much water is accumulating, water in terms of leachate, and we can also sample that water for nitrates because there's a reservoir to hold the solution until we can remove it. With this, we can track the leachate temperature, the electrical conductivity, and millimeters of leachate as it passes past those sensors. This data helps us to quantify the amount of nitrates that might be lost from a treatment paddock. In this case, if we focus on the green bars of the treatments on the left, these are conventional row crop systems with either ungrazed cover or no cover. You can see those green bars are really high, and in these cases we're losing over 100 pounds of nitrogen as nitrates per acre. And compare that to the sod-based rotation, the SBRs in the center of that graph, and that's basically grazing overseeded Bahia grass. And then compare that to the ICL, which is the integrated crop livestock, and that's basically the cattle grazing the winter cover crop on row crop land. You can see those green bars are much lower. That extra nitrogen that's being lost from those row crops that are not being grazed, does not have grazed cover crop, is probably a combination of what was applied for that cover crop and this previous summer crop. So that's why we're losing so much more nitrate. So the takeaway message we're finding so far is that beyond just using winter forage cover crops, is that we can have the cattle graze that winter forage, and that actually is helping us reduce nitrate leaching beyond just cover crops by themselves. So basically we can have our cake and eat it too. Using winter cover crops and grazing increases total productivity and protects the environment at the same time.